We do know about Dee Ford. He's not coming back, which is strange. When the Niners opened up his practice window like mid-season, I was thinking, oh, he's going to be here. Now I was thinking, I don't know, probably should have just waited on that. But then it's like, it doesn't seem like it's going to matter. I don't know if he's going to be ready to play football for a very long time. Last time they went to the Super Bowl, he played in all those playoff games. He wasn't making a huge impact, but he was there playing a lot of snaps. Now they're going to have to replace him. What do you think the impact of not having him? First of all, if they had him playing like him at his best, you think this is definitely a team that can go all the way to the Super Bowl. I mean, does he ruin it not being there?
Not really. I think that realistically what you've seen with the way that DeMeco has been very creative and his play calling has been great. Like calling that nickel blitz with K1 at the right time to get to the quarterback. Yeah. No, and this is a guy again in his first year that is playing is doing very well. And for everything that everybody said earlier in the season, and I remember, oh, you got to get rid of DeMeco. I think he's doing a great job, especially when he's down to what he's down to at corner. And his pass rush is basically Nick Bosa and whoever the hell can try to help at least a little bit. And week to week, that changes. 1 week is DJ Jones. 1 week, Eric Armstead has pressures. 1 week, Arden Key has pressures. So I think they'll be fine. Okay. I mean, they've gotten this far and played good enough. They're still a top 10 DVOA defense.
Yep.
Still. Yep. And I think that they've gotten this far.
It's a good defense.
I think they've gotten this far with the presence in the linebacker room, back end safeties that really don't give anything up. And when Nick Bosa is playing it the way that he is, even when he's double teamed, they can make just enough plays. As long as they're not giving up the explosives, they should be fine. Obviously, Dee Ford would help, but they've done too much without him for me to be worried about him missing at this point.
The reason I ask about this, well, first of all, I want to say is the thing with K'Wan Williams. I was out at dinner with Nick Wagner the night before the game, and I was saying, DeMeco, I'm not really sure about him. Like, his pressure packages aren't that exotic. Like, all he does is just blitz Hafunga now and then. I like the way Saleh used to get K'Wan Williams totally unblocked. Boom, next day, got it done. Like with the game on the line. So nice. I really like that.
That's why you're quality control.
Yeah. And like the other thing I wanted to say is like, of course they do have a top 10 defense. It's a good defense, but the way I look at this team is they've been trying to recreate they had a formula that they thought came very close to take them all the way. And the formula really was defense first. That was a defense team. And that defense was one or two. I mean, it was them and the Patriots that year. I thought the Niners had the best defense that year, personally, even with old Richard Sherman in the secondary. So I'm like, can they get back to that as sort of the theme of this show a little bit? And we're going to talk about it in different ways, but Dee Ford coming back would have really helped that cause. And I don't see that. So right now I do see a really good defense, but it'll be interesting to see if they can kind of crank it up the way that the New York Giants defense did 10 years ago with Osi and Pierre Paul and Justin Tuck.
Right. And it's funny because in camp, Ford looked like he had that burst back, and he was at least going to be on the field in like obvious passing situations. Yeah. And you figure, okay, if you're going to get that, then things are going to be different. But I still, in the beginning of the season, in the offseason, felt that this defense was going to take a step back based on the personnel, obviously, and a first-year DC. But at the same time, I expected them to be a top 10 defense. Yeah. Now, obviously, that's what they're doing right now. Yeah. But when you're talking about top 2, that's when you start to say, okay, that can mask up some of the things that, let's say, your offense isn't clicking a little bit more, right? So, but that's not typical. So I think that we all should have expected a top 10 defense, and that's what they have right now. And when you consider what they're down at cornerback, how much better this team would be if Jason Verrett was available, if Emmanuel Mosley was still there, it would be even higher. But for them to be top 10, I feel like that should have been the expectation, and they're kind of hitting that right now. And who knows, right? DeMeco Ryans right now is building confidence right now in game planning and in game adjustments. Like for him to go into this game knowing, okay, the way to stop Jamar Chase and you obviously really can't stop T. Higgins because, in my opinion, his route tree is much more developed than Jamar Chase at this point. Jamar Chase is going to be a fantastic receiver in this league. He's just a straight line guy. He has a few other routes in his bag, but T. Higgins is the real deal in terms of everything. But for him to look at what the Bengals were doing and say, hey, we're going to throw some cover 2 looks. We're going to make sure that we have brackets over there and still be able to stop the run and have them flummox for a large portion of that game. I feel great about where he's going, man, and I think that's.
But why did that work? Aziz.
I know.
Aziz.
I mean, hey, I know Aziz is a baller. I know Aziz is a
anytime
baller,
you can stop the run with 7, your D coordinator looks like a genius.
Yeah.
Break it
And I
down.
think that a lot of that, of what he's doing right now, his growth in play calling, his growth in game planning is going to mask whatever deficiencies are on the back end. And I think that have 49er fans excited.
Fangio always had the same luxury when he had Patrick Willis and Bowman. I mean, they never had to bring safeties down
Yeah.
to involve them in the run game. You could play them at 9, 10, 11 yards off. And I mean, it worked. So good for the Niners, good for D'Amico, good for Zeke.